Seth, you are national pro-life speaker. I'm sure you get asked this all the time. Why are you the national pro-life speaker? You're not a woman. What voice do you have in this? And speak to that, and then also just the indoctrination that's happening with our children.
Right, yeah, thank you, Justin. Yeah, no uterus, no opinion, right?
That's right.
Yeah, you sexist bigot, Justin. Now, of course, I hear this all the time, right? I've been speaking on the issue of abortion since I was 18 or 19. I just turned 30.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, it's like just so exhausting at this point. It's like we're only in this predicament because men have abdicated their moral and spiritual duty to be a man. And C.S. Lewis predicted this. Cultural prophet, C.S. Lewis. We need more Lewis type of voices in the country right now. And in his book, The Abolition of Man, which I believe he wrote in like 43 or 44. And if you guys haven't read The Abolition of Man, you need to read it. The premise of his book is that the head rules the belly through the chest. So he says that the head is the intellect. It's the rational man. The belly is the animalistic man, the raw appetite, the part of human beings that say, satisfy me now, right? Whether it's for sex or food or pleasure. So the chest is virtue and honor. And so C.S. Lewis says, in a sort of ghastly simplicity, we remove the organ and demand the function. We make men without chests and expect of them virtue and enterprise. We laugh at honor and are shocked to find traitors in our midst. We castrate and bid the geldings be fruitful. And that's exactly what has happened to the modern man. If you remove chest, which is virtue, honor, morality, then the head rules the belly with nothing to temper it in between. Remove honor and morality. And are human beings good at justifying what we want and coming up with justifications and reasons to do so to satisfy our desires and appetites? Yeah, that probably drives every decision to sin ever since Eden. You remove virtue and honor, you can justify anything you want. That's what drives abortion. And so I want to make this point. This is why, by the way, silence might be the most deadly thing on the issue of abortion. After the forceps that kill the child, silence might be the most deadly thing. So speak up and speak all the time against abortion. Never let pro-abortion bigotry go by in a conversation without being called as such. Because when the church abdicated their duty and we accepted this Johnson Amendment lie that there's a separation between church and state, people who say this have no idea about the founding of America. It was launched by activist preachers who wanted to create liberty and the ability to worship God freely. When we abdicated that duty and we allowed the left to define the terms of engagement, so when they called slaughtering 1 million babies a year reproductive justice, and then they said, oh, that's a political issue. Hey, you Christians, just preach the gospel. You just keep your liturgy in the church, okay? Don't you bring that liturgy out into the public square. You worship Jesus in there, then we're fine with it. When we accepted that and said, okay, you're right, we're not political, so now genocide is a political issue, we abdicated the only and prophetic voice in the culture that withholds evil and promotes righteousness. And America was launched on Judeo-Christian values. So even pre-sexual revolution, pre-Roe versus Wade, you may not have had like 70-80% of Americans as born-again believers, but they were still functioning off of a morality that they were borrowing from the Christian worldview. And this is what keeps evil in check, is the family, the smallest political unit. Well, what happens when the leader of the family, the smallest political unit, is a man without a chest? Well, then you get abortion. Then you get exactly where we are at now. And so that's why it's so important for the church, which men are supposed to be leading, to speak up and speak all the time by reminding people that truth, liberty, life is not man's idea, it's God's idea. And we're going to give an account one day to the King of Kings, the greatest former fetus to have ever existed, who entered human history in a uterus to redeem mankind from their sins for what we did not or did not do on this genocide.
Come on. Time to speak up. Let's go. Great word, man.